Imagine having a conversation with a legend, a leader whose bravery and ambition shaped the course of history. Alexander the Great, a name that resonates through the centuries, conqueror of an empire stretching from Greece to India, joins us today. In an exclusive and revealing interview, Alexander takes us beyond epic battles and military strategies. He gives us a glimpse into his motivations, personal challenges, and visions of a united world. Get ready for an intimate journey into the mind and heart of one of history's greatest conquerors. In this interview, Alexander not only unveils the secrets behind his victories, but also shares his reflections on leadership, friendship, love, and legacy. Come discover the man behind the myth and explore the grandeur of an empire. A question I've always been curious about. How do you feel being called Alexander the Great, and how did you earn that nickname?
Being called the Great is an honor. The title reflects my military achievements and the impact I had on history. I earned this nickname due to my victories in battles, the expansion of my empire, and the spread of Hellenistic culture. I believe the recognition comes from successfully uniting diverse peoples under one rule, creating a lasting legacy.
How large was your empire?
At its peak, my empire stretched from Greece to northwest India, encompassing parts of Egypt, Persia, and Central Asia. I ruled over a vast territory, incorporating an incredible diversity of cultures and peoples. It was a huge challenge to maintain cohesion in this empire, but cultural and administrative integration helped keep it united during my reign.
Did you govern Egypt before or after Cleopatra?
I ruled Egypt well before Cleopatra. I conquered Egypt in 332 BC during my campaign against the Persian Empire. I was welcomed as a liberator by the Egyptians and founded the city of Alexandria. Cleopatra, on the other hand, ruled much later, in the 1st century BC, as the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty.
Was Cleopatra of your descent, or was Egypt conquered again after your reign?
Cleopatra was not of my direct descent. After my death, Egypt was ruled by Ptolemy Thursor, one of my generals. He founded the Ptolemaic dynasty, of which Cleopatra was a part. This dynasty ruled Egypt until the Roman conquest in the 1st century BC.
It seems you were great from a young age. How old were you when you tamed a wild horse that wouldn't let anyone ride it?
I was only 12 years old when I tamed the horse Bucephalus. He was a wild horse that no one could ride. I noticed he was afraid of his own shadow, so I turned him towards the sun, calmed him down, and managed to ride him. This episode demonstrated my determination and skill from a young age. Bucephalus stayed with me for many years.
So it was an act of intelligence, not just strength. From whom did you learn to be so perceptive?
My perceptiveness was shaped by various factors. I was educated by Aristotle, who taught me philosophy, science, and strategy. Additionally, I closely observed my father, Philip II, who was a great strategist and leader. These influences helped me develop a keen mind and an intelligent approach to challenging situations.
You were tutored by Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers in history. Can you tell us how that came about?
Yes, I was very fortunate to have Aristotle as my tutor. My father invited him to educate me when I was 13. Aristotle taught me philosophy, ethics, politics, science, and the arts. He instilled in me an insatiable curiosity and a love for knowledge, which deeply influenced my way of governing and my worldview.
What was Aristotle like, and how was he as a tutor?
Aristotle was a man of great wisdom and knowledge. He had an analytical and curious mind, always seeking to understand the world around us. As a tutor, he was demanding but fair. He encouraged me to question and think critically. His lessons went beyond books. He taught me the importance of ethics, leadership, and understanding different cultures. His impact on my education was immense and lasting.
Was it with him that you learned there were many lands to conquer?
Partly, yes. Aristotle taught me about geography and the diverse cultures beyond Macedonia. He sparked my curiosity and ambition to explore and understand the world. However, the inspiration to conquer also came from my father, Philip, who always had grand territorial ambitions. Combination of these teachings and examples shaped my desire to expand our empire.
What other tutors did you have that helped you become Alexander the Great?
Besides Aristotle, I had other tutors who contributed to my education. Leonidas of Epirus, a relative of my mother, taught me discipline and military training. Lysimachus, another tutor, taught me about culture and the arts. My father, Philip II, was also an important mentor, teaching me military strategy and leadership. Each of them played a crucial role in building the skills that made me a great leader.
Can you tell us about your childhood?
My childhood was marked by rigorous education and preparation for leadership. I was born in Pella, Macedonia, and from an early age I received military training and participated in campaigns with my father. I was exposed to military strategies, politics, and administration, which prepared me to take the throne and lead my empire. I had a privileged but demanding childhood, always geared towards preparing for great responsibility.
So you didn't have a childhood like other children?
Exactly. My childhood was quite different from most children. From an early age, I was prepared to be a leader and a king. While other children played, I received military training, philosophy lessons, and participated in political discussions. The responsibilities and expectations were always high, which shaped my determination and ambition from a young age.
What was your first challenge?
My first major challenge was when I was only 16 years old. My father was on a campaign and left me in charge of Macedonia. During this period, a Thracian tribe rebelled. Leading a small army, I managed to defeat the rebels and founded a new city, Alexandropolis, in honor of the victory. This experience was crucial, as it showed my father and other leaders that I was ready for leadership and to face military challenges.
When did you go to war for the first time? When did you actually wield a sword?
My first real battle experience was at 18 years old in the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BC. I fought alongside my father against the combined forces of several Greek city-states. During this battle, leading the cavalry, I faced the famous Theban warriors, which was crucial for our victory. It was at this moment that I proved my combat skills and courage on the battlefield.
You and your father, Philip II, made great conquests. Can you tell us about that period?
The period of conquests with my father was intense and formative. Philip II unified Macedonia and created a powerful army. Together we fought several battles, including the decisive Battle of Chaeronea, where we consolidated our dominance over Greece. These campaigns taught me a lot about military strategy and leadership. My father's expansionist vision and his ability to unite the Macedonians were fundamental to the foundations of my future conquests.
Your father was a powerful man, but that didn't stop you from saying at his wedding, "Look, this is the man who plans to move from Europe to Asia, but cannot even move from one seat to another."
This incident occurred during my father's wedding to Cleopatra Eurydice. There was a major argument, and in a moment of tension, I made this comment to highlight my father's drunkenness. I wanted to show that despite his grand plans, he was still vulnerable. It was a moment of conflict between us, but also a demonstration of my determination to follow my own path.
What was the consequence of your determination?
Consequence was a temporary estrangement between my father and me. After the incident, I was exiled along with my mother, Olympias. The relationship with my father became tense. It lasted 6 months.
How long after did your father die, and how did it happen?
My father, Philip II, was assassinated just 2 years after the incident at his wedding to Cleopatra Eurydice. He was killed by Pausanias, one of his bodyguards, during a wedding in Aegae. My father's death was a moment of great turmoil. While Pausanias tried to flee, he stumbled and was killed by his pursuers.
Are you enjoying the interview? Don't forget to leave a like. This will strengthen the channel, helping us bring more content like this. What was your first order when you took the throne?
My first act upon taking the throne was to consolidate my power internally and eliminate any threats to my reign. I executed those who conspired against my father and secured the loyalty of the army. Then, I quickly quashed revolts in the Greek city-states that tried to take advantage of my father's death. These swift and decisive actions ensured the stability of my kingdom and prepared the way for my future conquest.
You went far in your territorial conquests. Can you tell us in chronological order how they happened?
Of course, the first was the Battle of Chaeronea, victory over the Greek city-states. Then the Battle of the Granicus, the first clash with the Persians in Asia Minor. The Battle of Issus, a decisive victory over Darius III of Persia. The conquest of Egypt, where I founded Alexandria. The Battle of Gaugamela, the final defeat of Darius III, consolidating control over the Persian Empire. And finally, the campaigns in India. The Battle of the Hydaspes against King Porus. These were the most important. Each victory expanded our empire and spread Hellenistic culture.
Why Hellenistic culture?
Hellenistic culture emerged from the fusion of Greek and Eastern cultures, following my conquest. As we expanded the empire, we encouraged the exchange of ideas, art, science, and language. among the diverse peoples we encountered. Greek culture mixed with Persian, Egyptian, and Indian influences, creating a rich, blended cultural heritage. The spread of Hellenistic culture helped unify the vast territories and left a lasting legacy in the regions we conquered.
You never lost a battle, even when the opposing army was larger. How do you evaluate that fact?
I believe the success in battles comes from a combination of factors. Firstly, the excellent training and discipline of my army, a legacy of the training initiated by my father, Philip II. Secondly, my ability to adapt strategies according to the battlefield circumstances, using innovative tactics and exploiting the enemy's weaknesses. And my leadership inspired confidence and courage in my soldiers, which was crucial for our victory.
You led the troops from the front lines. Do you think that was significant?
Yes, leading from the front was very significant. It demonstrated my courage and commitment to my soldiers, strengthening the army's morale and loyalty. My direct presence on the battlefield allowed me to make quick and effective decisions, adjusting tactics as needed. This approach also showed that I was willing to face the same risks as my men, which inspired confidence and determination in all of us.
You died very young and not on the battlefield. Can you explain how your death occurred?
My death occurred in June 323 BC in Babylon at the age of 32. After a series of parties and banquets, I fell seriously ill. The exact cause of my death is still debated by historians. Some theories suggest poisoning, while others point to typhoid fever or malaria. My sudden death left the empire without a clear successor, leading to fragmentation and power struggles among my generals.
Did you get married?
Yes. I got married several times. My first wife was Roxana, a princess of Bactria, whom I married in 327 BC. I also married Statera, daughter of Darius III, and Parysatis, daughter of Artaxerxes III, in an effort to unite different cultures and consolidate my empire. These marriages had both political and personal purposes, seeking to strengthen alliances and integrate the diverse parts of my vast domain.
Did you have romantic relationships with any of them? There were rumors about your sexuality.
My personal relationships are often a topic of speculation. I had a close relationship with Roxana, my first wife. Additionally, it's true that I had close relationships with some men, such as Hephaestion, my friend, and most trusted general. In Macedonian and Greek culture, these relationships were viewed differently than they are today. My priority was always loyalty and trust, regardless of gender.
Did the sadness over your friend's death nearly bring down Alexander the Great?
Hephaestion's death in 324 BC was a devastating blow to me. He was more than a friend. He was my confidant and companion in battles. His loss deeply affected me, and I organized funerals with extraordinary honors in his memory. His death shook my emotional strength and left a huge void in my life, which some say contributed to my own death the following year.
What happened to your kingdom after your death?
After my death, my vast and diverse empire collapsed. Without a clear successor, my generals, known as the Diadochi, divided the empire among themselves, resulting in civil wars and fragmentation. The empire was split into several Hellenistic kingdoms, such as the Ptolemaic Egypt, the Seleucid Empire, and the Kingdom of Macedonia. The unity I worked so hard to create fell apart, but the Hellenistic cultural influence remained for centuries.
What were your greatest legacies and significant influences?
My greatest legacies include the expansion of the Macedonian Empire and the spread of Hellenistic culture, which combined Greek and Eastern elements. The founding of cities like Alexandria created centers of learning and culture that influenced the world for centuries. My leadership style and military strategies were studied and admired for generations. My vision of a united world, though not fully realized, left a lasting impact on history and civilization.
Any regrets? Would you have done anything differently?
If I could go back, perhaps I would have been more cautious in some decisions, especially regarding the administration of such a vast empire. I would also have focused more on grooming a clear successor to avoid the fragmentation after my death. However, I believe every decision led me to learn and grow as a leader. Specific regrets are hard to pinpoint, as each mistake also brought valuable lessons.
Alexander Resenia Historica, thanks you for this opportunity to learn more about you. To conclude, could you leave us with a message?
Thank you for the opportunity to share my story. My message to everyone is that courage and determination can turn dreams into reality. Never stop seeking knowledge and fighting for your ideals. May my example inspire perseverance and the pursuit of the great potential that resides within each of us.
Before Alexander, the world was divided into various independent empires and kingdoms. In Greece, city-states like Athens, Sparta, and Thebes dominated local politics, often in conflict with one another. The Persian Empire, under Darius III, was a superpower, controlling vast territories from Egypt to Central Asia. Egypt was a Persian province, while Macedonia, under Philip II, was emerging as a growing military force. Alexander the Great led campaigns that drastically changed the political organization of the ancient world. After defeating Darius III, he conquered the Persian Empire, extending his domain from the Mediterranean to northwest India. He founded several cities, including Alexandria in Egypt, promoting Hellenistic culture throughout the empire. He also encouraged cultural integration and marriage between Greeks and non-Greeks. With Alexander's death in 323 BC, his empire was divided among his generals, the Diadochi. This led to the formation of Hellenistic kingdoms, such as Ptolemaic Egypt, the Seleucid Empire, and the Kingdom of Macedonia. The unity of the empire disintegrated, but the influence of Hellenistic culture remained strong, shaping the cultural, scientific, and political development of the regions for centuries. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Please leave a like and follow Resenha Historica for more content like this.